そいつはお前の子か、狐よ。なるほど、なかなかに面白い運命を背負っているようだ。不憫だぞ、狐よ。それほどの力を持ちながら次の世代にそれを伝える術を持たぬとはな。
Yo, welcome back. It's Blackstar. I'll be talking about the Boruto chapter 28 leaks. The chapter starts off with Inojin showing off his new jutsu, Shindinjin. From what Inojin tells us, it seems to be a super mind transformation jutsu. One part of how it works is the same as any other mind transformation jutsu. The other part of it is that each person acts as a receiver, picking up on unique vibrational frequencies of living and non-living things. The purpose of this was to be able to locate and identify Mamushi's vibrational frequency since he can hide his chakra signature. Boruto and Inojin end up having a funny altercation where Inojin tells Boruto he basically doesn't fuck with him and is only there for him reward. Boruto tells his senpai to shut the fuck up or he'll cut off his stupid haircut, then immediately uses FTG and dips, leaving Inojin stunned looking at Koji, asking him, why did Boruto say that to me? And Koji just stares at his bum ass. That nigga's really a fraud. The next page we see this Charlie Kirk looking dude interrogating Konohamaru with Sai. I find it interesting how Sai asks the sensor unit for Konohamaru's communication log. It makes me wonder if Sai might look into Shikamaru's old communication logs and find out about the communication between him and Koji. I really like how Ikimoto laid that out as being a possibility, or maybe some sneaky foreshadowing. From there we go back to Boruto and we see him get his sword back from Sumire. She redesigned the whole sword except for the hilt to maximize its every capability. Part of the redesign she gave his sword is the ability to maintain this jutsu called Hagoromo, which works kind of like the samurai blades we seen back in Naruto Shippuden during the 5 Kage summit. Except this sword has the ability to drain the chakra of people who aren't Boruto, Sasuke, and Sumire specifically. Sumire mentions this as a safety precaution, in case someone tries to steal his blade. It leaves me kind of confused. Does this mean that Boruto fights someone and slashes them with his sword, they completely lose all their chakra, kind of like Samehada on crack? Or does this mean when someone tries to wield his sword, they would be completely wiped of chakra? I feel like both could be true, or it's one or the other, but if it works like Samehada on crack, it would actually be fucking broken. One of my GOAT mutuals on Twitter, Kenny, pointed out that the sword is completely different from the one shown in chapter 1. The handles are completely different. The current one has a design on the handle. To me, it looks like to be some kind of diamond pattern, where the previous design shown in chapter 1 doesn't have that pattern. It's just blank. So either it got retconned or he gets a different, more powerful sword later on. We'll just have to wait and see. We then go back to Inojin talking to Koji about pre-science, where Koji basically tells him he limits the amount of information he tells them so that they don't alter the future in too many ways that's unfavorable to them. So due to this being the third-party translation, I'm not 100% sure what the next panels fully translate as. What I take from it is that Koji uses Himawari dying and Ada getting bitten by a Shinju and turning into a tree as an example of what could have gone wrong in the future. So a lot of people might think this is a Damon downscope because of what happens to Ada, but I completely disagree. This is an example, not an actual future that Koji ever saw from his pre-science, so my GOAT is not a fraud. Inojin then immediately gets alerted that Mamushi is invading the village and alerts Shikamaru. So we then see this panel of Kawaki saying, just you wait, you bastards. The nigga looks like a damn cornball. He's not even moving, he's just standing there saying it. Like, nigga, go do something for once. While Boruto's actually putting in work on Mamushi, Kawaki's sitting in a dark room talking to himself. We then see a panel of Damon where he's sitting nonchalantly, not giving a single fuck about Mamushi. He tells Ada that nobody will lay a finger on her. I feel like a lot of people forget how Damon saw Himawari's laying power, and she's the only person in the series that made him act out of character. Damon can sense the Shinju and isn't worried about them a single bit. We then see Mamushi, who is looking around the village for Ada, and it's kind of funny where he mentions to his clone not to destroy any buildings because Juro will chew them out. This is when Boruto pulls up and one-shots one of Mamushi's clones, then gets back shots from the Mamushi, sending him crashing into the ground. This is when Boruto turns his karma on, which has me so confused because in no world does Boruto turn his karma on over a tiny hit. Either he's going all out and not wasting any time, or as part of his agreement with Momoshiki to use his karma every time he fights, which has me so confused because in no world does Boruto turn his karma on over one tiny hit. Either he's going all out, not wasting any time, or as part of his agreement with Momoshiki to use his karma every time he fights. The two things that stuck out the most to me this chapter was his new sword and the use of his karma. With Boruto's new sword, I think it would be cool to see it negate regen, since pretty much all of the people he's been fighting and will fight have insane regen. If the sword truly works like Samehada, like I believe it does, it might have the capabilities to negate regen, which would be completely busted. But if it only works when someone grabs the handle, there is possibly ways he could trick people into grabbing it, especially with the combination he do with FTG. I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But there is definitely tons of possibilities and like different techniques he can use, like the shuriken jutsu or the transformation jutsu on the sword, kind of like what Naruto and Sasuke did, and he could trick an opponent into grabbing it like that. Or like he could throw his sword like he kind of did against Jura and kind of like get them trying to like pick it up or grab it or something like that. That would definitely be pretty interesting, but I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens in the future. I also want to talk about Boruto using his karma, and if Mamushi truly hit Boruto hard enough to where he felt like he needed to use his karma. This would mean that Mamushi is probably the second strongest Shinju after Jura. Boruto has fought every Shinju except for Ryu, who fucking died miserably to Sarada, and none of them have ever pushed him to the extent where he felt like he needed to use his karma, except for Jura. The only other reason I could see him use his karma is because of some twisted deal made with Momoshiki. Even that seems far-fetched, which really makes me think that it's Mamushi who really pressed Boruto that badly and forced him to use his karma, which is kind of crazy. Anyway, thank you guys for watching the video. Please drop a follow, like, subscribe. You can find me on Twitter and in my Discord server. The Discord link will be down below. Please join. We do Nitro giveaways, prize giveaways. We talk about Naruto, Boruto, and other anime. Please join. We'll be waiting for you guys. Thank you.